Yo, what up, YouTube? It's man getting at y'all again with another gameplay commentary. But this time I want to talk a little bit about boxing, particularly the heavyweights. And man, how the mighty have fallen. The mighty have fucking fallen. I remember there was a point in time when if you were considered the heavyweight champion of the world, that was the most distinguished title in sports. And I'm talking not just too long, I'm talking about in the 90s. If you were considered the heavyweight champion of the world, you were a rock star. Everybody wanted to be you. All the bitches want to fuck you. I mean, it's just that. And now the heavyweight championship of the world has turned into a fucking joke. Got one of the worst champions in one of the worst eras. This era and Rocky Marciano's era are the two worst heavyweight eras in history. But I must say this. Even though Rocky Marciano is incredibly overrated, I will tell you this. When he was fighting against these bad fighters, he was knocking them the fuck out. These dudes that's fighting now, not only do they only fight once a year or some bullshit like that, but the heavyweights of the old days, they didn't have to fight a lot either because, you know, heavyweights even back in the 50s and the 40s and 30s made money. Jack Dempsey had $1 million fight in the 20s. So that just shows you how big boxing was back then. When you have $1 million fight in the 20s, but you know, a lot of the smaller fighters, you know, they had to fight a lot to make money. Like Ray Robinson fought. I think Ray Robinson was 178 and 19 in his career. In his prime, he was 128 and 1. Just show you how fucking godlike he is. He was without a doubt. If you don't have Ray Robinson as the #1 fighter of all time on your pound for pound list, then you have no credibility. Maybe you can argue that Henry Armstrong was #1, but he ain't Ray Robinson. Henry Armstrong is #2 on my list. But anyway, I want to talk about boxing and how bad it's gone, yo. I mean, not boxing gone, but the heavyweights. Boxing is fine. The smaller division, the welterweight, junior welterweight, lightweight. So many good young fighters right now. It's ridiculous. It's fun to watch. It's good, and they all fighting each other. It seems like these new guys are really committed to fighting each other. And then you got fighters like Andre Ward. People slept on him. I told everybody I thought he was gonna be really good, and he's unifying the super middleweight championship division. You know, but you got these heavyweights, these sloppy, pitiful heavyweights. I know Muhammad Ali right now is probably saying, you know what? I wish I was about 20 years younger. I'm pretty sure that Muhammad Ali could come in his 40s and dominate the heavyweights of the day. Because they are so bad. I'm pretty sure that George Foreman had knocked out Michael Moore. Shout out to Michael Moore, the first and only. No, he ain't the only. Technically, Chris Bird was a heavyweight champion of the world, but he wasn't the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. He didn't beat the man who beat the man. Unlike, you know, technically Vladimir Klitschko is the lineal champion of the world because he beat the man who beat the man. And when I mean lineal champ, I mean like in, let's say, middleweight division, when it went from Bernard Hopkins to Jermaine Taylor to Kelly Pavlik to Sergio Martinez, that's the lineal champion of the world because he beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. It's the lineage. Bernard Hopkins was the champ. He lost to Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor lost to Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik lost to Sergio Martinez. You know, that's just how it went. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, man, the mighty have fallen. Heavyweights now, they don't want to train. All they want to do is eat. They think they can go into a match and just get it over with in 2 or 3 rounds. Back in the old days, man, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, all those dudes used to fight for 15 rounds. Jimmy Young, Ken Norton. Even in the 80s, you got Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes, talking about forgotten greats. Overlooked great fighters. Larry Holmes is like my #3 or 4 heavyweight ever, and he is just so overlooked because, you know, he fought the best. He fought the greatest ever, and Muhammad Ali left such a shadow. But you know, Larry Holmes was so good when he in his prime. He was 48 and 0. Got screwed against Michael Spinks. They gave Michael Spinks the match because they made it clear that they didn't want. Excuse me, man. I'm getting shortness of breath. But they made it clear that they did not want Larry Holmes to pass Rocky Marciano's record. So, you know, he basically had to knock Michael Spinks out to beat him. And he didn't knock him out. So They gave it, the decision went to Michael Spinks. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about these garbage ass heavyweights since the last 6 years, I would imagine. When Lennox Lewis retired, the heavyweights just went to shit. The heavyweights went just to plain shit when he retired. You got Vitaly Klitschko is the WBC champion, and Vladimir Klitschko got all the rest of the belts. And the two brothers said they'll never fight each other. If that was my brother, I'd be ready to kick his ass. If me and my little brother were holding the belts and I had to unify through him, well, he better put his gloves on, because we finna go in there and we finna kick each other's ass. And then after the match, I'm gonna shake him and hug him and tell him good fight. But they just ain't got it in them. But the thing about heavyweights is, and what boxing needs two things for it to get back relevant to the casual fan. For people like me who just love the sport, who just love boxing, who's gonna watch it regardless, because like I said, the welterweight, junior welterweight, lightweight, featherweight, super feather, those divisions, super middle, they have some good young fighters, and they're fighting each other. Sergio Martinez is the middleweight king right now. He knocked Paul Williams out a few months ago, and then he just embarrassed his last dude he fought. But Paul Williams beat him. They're gonna have a rubber match. They're gonna have a rubber match. Paul Williams beat him the first time. Sergio knocked him out the second time. Paul Williams gonna shake back, because I really love Paul Williams. Tall. He's like Tommy Hearns, but without the power. Can't punch like Hearns, but he's long, slender, tall for that weight division. But anyway, what boxing needs to get back relevant in the heavyweight aspect of it is, but what boxing needs to get back relevant in the casual fan aspect of it, rather, is they need the heavyweight division buzzing. They need good young fighters fighting each other, knocking each other out. That's what heavyweight's about. Heavyweight championships very rarely used to go to the whole 15 or the whole 12. They usually end in knockout. You very rarely see the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, go to distance, because those are big men hitting each other. Eventually, you're gonna fall. But today, all they do is go to the bell, because all they do is hug each other. They fight for the first 2 rounds, and they hug each other for the next 10. But anyway, what boxing needs, they need the heavyweight. What boxing needs for the casual fan, heavyweight division has to get buzzing, and it has to be another great white hope. All the eras that the heavyweight division was buzzing, the early to mid '90s, when you had Holyfield, Bo, who else? Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Michael Moore. You had the revitalized George Foreman, who came in and knocked Michael Moore out. Was it a lucky punch? Yeah, but he got the job done. He took his opportunity when he had that one opportunity, he took it. And he got fortunate that Michael Moore can't take punch. He can't, if a mosquito thump him on the chin, he'll fall out. He cannot take a punch. But and then the '90s had good B-list, I won't say B-list, but good fighters that you had to deal with to get to the top dogs. You had, the Great White Hope and Tommy Morrison. Boxing needs a Great White Hope, man. It's not racist. It's just that white America loves a great white heavyweight hope. Look at Joe Macy. When Joe Macy was fighting, his fights used to be sold out. The ratings was extremely high and he was a scrub, but boxing just loves the great white hope. But you had good fighters like Oliver McCall, Frank Bruno, Burt Cooper. You want to see a good fight, a good round? Go watch Burt Cooper versus Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield, I used to hate Evander Holyfield because he's so fucking dirty. But, I just got to love and respect his heart, because 2 things. You can never question Evander Holyfield: determination or heart. He was always in there. He was always against bigger dudes. He fought in the era he was 200, and at his best, he probably was 211 pounds, fighting against 240-pound giants like Riddick Bowe. If Riddick Bowe wasn't lazy, he could be one of the 4 or 5 best ever heavyweights ever. Never seen somebody 6'4", 240 pounds with that kind of speed and that kind of inside fighting. Riddick Bowe could fight on the inside. He's the best inside fighting heavyweight I've ever seen. His prime. You see that prime Bowe that Holyfield Bowe won? That fight right there, he went in there and absolutely destroyed Evander Holyfield. But the thing about it, Evander Holyfield shook back in that 10th round. Holyfield, Riddick Bowe hit him with the best uppercut I still to this day have ever seen. Holyfield out. Looked like he's about to get knocked out. Holyfield shook it off, came back, and hurt Riddick Bowe in the 10th round. Almost knocked him out. That just show you the heart he had. He did the same thing with Burt Cooper. Burt Cooper had Holyfield on the ropes, almost out. About to lose his belt. Would have been one of the biggest upsets ever. And Holyfield shook back and hurt Burt Cooper, man. Just in him. He just had it in him. But I know I didn't get the chance to talk about what I wanted to. But I'll talk about it on another commentary. We're coming to the end of this video already. But anyway, man, I'll get it to y'all on the next one. Peace.